Hello everybody and welcome to Live and Let's Dice live here on a Wednesday afternoon. My name is Jules Gill and you join me here at what will hopefully be a fantastic stream, but I know that it will be because of the fact that we are going to be playing some more Citizen Sleeper 2 Starward Vector, and I am absolutely in love with this game. It is everything that I'm looking for in a stressful, chill, RPG, decision-making, dice-driven game. Admittedly, those games that fall into that very specific genre are quite few and far between, or far and few between. I can never remember which way that actually goes. But yes, I'm back once more to have some fun playing through this, hopefully not breaking all of my dice like I did in the previous episodes, and hopefully trying to keep my crew from stressing out tons as well. Now, I am not doing the, there's no webcam for this one here just because of the fact that I am still, well, to be fair, I'm basically in my jammies. I'm going to get ready and go out and do some yoga after this, but I'm just so cold that I've got so many layers on that I look absolutely disheveled, even considering the more sort of vagabond nature of fashion that is in Starward Citizen Sleeper 2. Hello, Callum. Good to see you, my friend. But I am very much looking forward to carrying on this journey here, especially seeing as we actually got a successful mission done last time. Unlike the very first episode in which we failed forward and basically just got by with the skin of our teeth and a lot of luck, this time around, we actually managed to plan ahead. We had all the supplies, we had all of the fuel, we actually had things going for us, and it worked out pretty blooming well, I'd say. So hopefully we can carry on with that good luck and push forward into this next adventure. Now, there is another element to this that I was going to discuss with people, and it's our good old friend, voice mod. So I was going to try and find out some different voices that I could put on during the reading of this, so I could change to some AI voices that they have here. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes, because I've listened to a few of them. Some of them are horrendously scary, like to the point. There's one that just replaces everything with farts right now. Like, I'll give you a quick taste of that one, just because I know that there is, as soon as I've mentioned it, it's just constantly farting. Just you hear the sound of time, and that's not good for the ego. I don't need to be constantly just reminded of how much I'm gassing about the place. So just try and hold our farts for a little bit. There we go. Cool, back to normal. Whew. And we'll just carry on and see how things go from there. Hello, Harrys. How are you going? Octavia, you okay? TJ, hello. So let's get on with it. We are the extractor class, which means that we are very good at physical labor. We have great stamina. But we ain't too good at hacking, which does unfortunately seem to be the biggest thing that we've come up against trying to go forward in our missions here. Now, as you can see on the top here, oh, Callum, I'll tell you what, hold on, just for you, mate. Here, you can have...
Callum, you're so funny!
But to be fair, there is actually a setting called the narrator that may be perfect for this. I mean...
How good would it sound me sounding like this when I'm reading out all of the different bits of text there, making it as buttery smooth as possible. Now, the best part is that I haven't actually turned on the preview button here, so I have no idea what this actually sounds like coming out of my voice.
Still, we will experiment with the different sounds and different voices as we go through. So, yeah, TJ, I've had some pretty atrocious luck in this run, haven't I, really? Because as you can see here on the top, let's just go over what we have going on here and what we have yet to do. Now, each of these... the game is definitely better at dice rolls than me, yeah. Morgan Freeman light, I'm happy with that. That's great. So, as you can see here, these are our dice rolls for the day, and we use these as currency to basically pass certain skill checks that are going on in the game. problem is as you can see here, 1, 2, 3 spaces have been destroyed. Now, this is because of the fact that there's a health bar underneath each dice, and after certain amounts of stress, which is this indicator at the top here, every time those dice values are rolled, 1 of those pips of health will go down. So as you can see here, number 1 is highlighted at the very top of your screens, and if I carry on doing more stress, number 2, so every time I roll on the 2, that'll get broken. So I actually have to spend a lot of time repairing my dice to get back into it, and that takes up components and scrap that are down in the bottom right hand corner. Other problems are this glitch icon that's up the top right here, so that every single time I re-roll all of my dice for the day, there's a chance that one of them may glitch, and it gives something that is like, I think it's an 80% failure rate and a 20% success rate. However, we've made it back home. We have engaged with Cadet, who is a new person who we may be able to recruit. And so we're trying to figure out whether or not we can help them before this quest thing here. Oh, Lane is hunting you once again. His progress will be tracked by the hunt clock. If this is filled up, he will catch up with you. It will increase once every cycle you spend in a hub. However, each time you travel, the hunt will reduce by 3. If you keep moving, you can stay 1 step ahead of Lane. So the plan is that we want to... oh, the dial's reset. Okay, that's cool. That's quite lucky for us. So that means we've got a few days to figure out what we're going to do, recharge, get all of our energy levels back up. So we'll need to buy some supplies, we'll need to buy some fuel. That is first and foremost, and we need to repair our dice. That is the long and short of it. So, before we left, we ended up making quite a few friends with the scrappers down here, which is great, because that means that we can actually buy scrap components to help with our dice repair, and it also means that we can process these in terms of some lovely... So if we feed this to them, for example, we'll be able to do that and get some cash back for it, which is great. So we've got 1 process scrap plus 7 cryo. And the process scrap means that it's even better. We'll actually trade for better stuff further down the line. So what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of our raw scrap, trade it for some process scrap. Got some cryo as well. Not that much, but enough. And then we're going to go and look at how we can start repairing our dice over here. Improvised dice repair or dice repair. Now, the top one here is going to... Patrick, it is absolutely... It's a belter of a game, isn't it? It's so good. Like, Gareth must be so pleased with the amount of positivity that's come in their way for all of the work that he's done on that. So, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the 2 different options we've got to repair our dice up the top. Now... This is going to cost us more rare components in order to repair, but we want to do that because it means that the glitch level is going to be lower. That is important for us. So if I repair one of the dice over here, it means that next time we're going to get one of those down there. We'll also repair it back up to full. Actually, well, we're going to be full glitch. I don't actually know what happens if you are full glitch. Let's actually experiment with that. It could be that something really bad happens, and that's kind of funny in its own right. So let's go full glitch. Okay, well, nothing happened there. But still, we are now, at least, we've got a full tray of dice for the next day. But the problem is that we've only got 2 dice. One's a 2, one's a 6. It ain't that great. What we could try and do is... sometimes it's necessary to rest, or at least try to. This will reduce your stress when not on a contract. So... Do I want to do... Because I think that there was... We're just going to pop the 2 in here. It did say before that you could fail it. So I'm not sure if actually I should just put the 6 in to be sure. I'm going to put the 6 in. I don't know if this actually matters, but we'll just double check with this. Cool. So we've got minus stress there. Fantastic stuff. And to be fair, I may just risk it and go for another one. There's not really much else that I need to do in this day after coming back. Yeah, see, that's why you want to put in a high number. Right. So we've got... Ooh, odd jobs. Oh, yeah, this is what we're telling our friends over here to do in order to try and get us extra bits. So I would rather that they focused on gathering us supplies, and then if by tomorrow we end up with a few more, it means we're going to be paying less. Oh, cat. Okay, so don't spoil it for me, because I obviously don't know what's happening here, but I hope that you enjoyed it and had a good time. And after some big decisions have been made, feel free to comment on them. But for now, we'll just focus on... Is there anything I need to do for the rest of the day? I'm at full stamina here. I've got enough supplies for the moment. I need to focus on going to help out Cadet, but we don't need to do anything yet. Just says, wait for Cadet, steal back the drive. Okay, right. What we're going to do then is we're going to end the cycle. Just see where we go from there. Okay, so let's see what's happening here. Okay, so we've got 3 glitch dice. We knew that that was going to be pretty bad regardless here, but we'll take it. It's fine. Just higher chance of... Okay, cool. That is good to know, actually. Okay, so we did actually get a supply from our friends, our crew, going out to source supplies. So that's actually pretty decent. So what we're going to do is we're going to track this Cadet mission, and we need to figure out where we're going to go. I'm assuming it's up into the shipping lane, Strip Line Express. Is there anything I need to do before I engage with this? Let's have a quick think about this. I'm okay for energy. I'm not okay for dice. That's bad. That's very, very bad. But every time we roll a glitch dice, it removes one from the glitch counter, so I only really have to do one more day of bad rolls to see how we go. So we're going to push forward ahead with this. Yeah, there we go. Fantastic. Good to see that the risky option here, which means that it's not as bad and can't damage your dice, is the one skill I do not have. But on the other side, I've got to cut your way in, and that is a dangerous one there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my engineer skill, which has no bonuses to my engineer skill. What's the one I'm really good at? I'm really good at endurance. Okay, cool. Fair enough. So let's just try and go in for a 50-50 on this one here. It'll succeed no matter what, but at least it will be... That's good. Full 3 on that one there. Probably not worth me chucking in a 1, and it's an 80% failure rate for putting in one of these. Look, 80% negative, 20% positive. That will be bad news indeed. So is there anything else that I can spend my dice on and basically sleep through this bad experience? Let's have a quick look here and just see if there's anything that I want to chuck my 1 dice into. I mean, this will be boosted to a 3, but it still is not... It's probably the best of a bad situation, but it could end very badly here. I tell you what, it's the best that I'm going to get for a 1 dice. I'll just see if I can get anything out of this. I've got 11 cryo, -1 energy. That's actually not bad. And unfortunately, as bad as it seems, I might just have to sleep through the day here and just get rid of those glitch dice. Because I don't think that... I think that these will fail? Let's just double check this. Yeah, I think that they... I think that they automatically fail. I'm pretty sure. Oh, it did actually work. It did actually work that time. So that's probably the most use that I'll get out of doing them. And I'm fully de-stressed. So let's just end the cycle here. It's not a great use of a day, to be fair, because it's put us right back. But we just got to work with what we got here at the moment. Okay. So first off, let's go. That is a great roll for those 3, though. I'm very happy with that. Can only repair fully broken dice. I was hoping that they might be able to actually help me out with something else. But what we'll do then is we need to go and visit the kitchen. I don't want to earn a meal. No, thank you. I would rather buy some food over here. Some kelp cakes or some rack. We love ourselves a good rack over here, don't we? Right, let's just repair ourselves for the day, and we'll head straight in. So we're going to go straight away in with the 5, 50-50 again. Hopefully we can just get some big positive ones, get us through there. If we can get a great result with this 6, then that means that we'll get all 3 of them in that one go. Perfect. Cool. So let's see if this works then.
You slide loose the panel. You slide the loose panel away from the wall, letting it float there beside the air bike rack. Behind it, in the dark, you see the blinking lights of a fuse box. A noise nearby draws your attention for a moment. The scrape of a sliding door maybe, or just some old systems cycling into the walls. It took long enough to gain access to the Stripline Express bike garage, and longer still to find a safe route to the air bike racks. But you are almost there. You've seen and heard the hired muscle searching and guarding this place, but been lucky enough not to come face to face with them just yet. You turn back to the darkness behind the panel. If what Cadet said is right, the drive is taped to the back of the fuse box in front of you. You carefully reach through and around. Carefully, and your hand settles on something cold and metallic in the dark. It's taped firmly to the box. You pull at it, but it doesn't budge. A quiet rattle echoes through the dispatch office next door, and you freeze for a second. It seems Cadet was a little too enthusiastic with the tape. Now
I've got a bad... I don't have the skill with that there. I've got engage, so we're just going to have to engage with it. I just hope that... Ooh, we got some stress, and that's bad. That's bad.
In one violent movement, you rip the drive away from the fuse box, bringing it back to the back of the box with it. The shattered box sparks and whines, and above you the fluorescent light pulses and shatters. You flinch at the sound. There's no way that somebody didn't hear that. Time to get out of here. As you turn away from the wall, the door to the office screeches open and you see an imposing figure silhouetted there. You don't stop to think, you just kick off from the wall, closing the distance between you and them. You bundle into the figure, both of you spinning wildly into the office, slamming into the central desk with its mess of terminals and monitors. You clutch the drive to your chest, part of the fuse box still taped to it, and kick at the figure, pushing them away into the wall. Operating on instinct, you throw yourself towards the only bright spot in the room, the transparent door leading to the passage outside the front of the strip line. You go through in a haze of safety glass cubes, glinting in the tungsten light. Dazed and floating, you suddenly feel strong hands grasping you from behind, and a thick arm tightening around your throat. A harsh voice spits some insults, but your ears are still ringing from the impact. You struggle against their grip, your feet kicking in the open air. The arm tightens around your neck and you feel yourself unable to breathe, your throat closing up. You panic, and then all of a sudden you realize you don't need to breathe. Something comes spinning past your head and impacts your face, the face behind yours, with a crunch. The arm immediately releases your neck and you see a stream of blood floating in front of you, translucent and diaphanous? I've not heard that word before. In the bright lights of the passage. Oh, am I gonna have to switch every single time? Hold on, let's just make sure that I've got a voice for Cadet. But then again, I don't know what any of these voices sound like. Okay, Cat, you tell me, because you have the most time with this game here.
Does this sound what you think that Cat would sound like? Does it sound like her? You let me know. And I'll read it out in a sleeper, get up. Oh god, I'm gonna have to switch back between. This is gonna be way too much. Okay, right, well I'll try my best to switch between them.
The shout snaps you out of your daze and you see Cadet straddling her air bike in the passage. In a moment, you are on the back of the air bike, clutching the strap of Cadet's bag as she guns it down the passage. The air resistance almost ripping you from the thin seat. You lean against her back and let out a sigh, the drive pressing into your ribs beneath your jacket. You did it.
Still alive back there?
Cadet's voice brings you back from the hypnotic rhythm of the tunnel lights rushing past the air bike. She slows the bike with a rapid series of hisses and you realize that she has brought you to the passage outside Bliss's Bay. You try to understand the route she took, along the loop through the branching transit tunnels of the station, but give up.
You can let go now. She
straightens up and you unhook your fingers from her bag strap, separating yourself from her back. You push off the bike gently and float in the passage beside her.
Sit back there. Well, slick back there.
She jerks her head down the passage.
Slicker than anything I could pull off.
She grins.
Would have probably just taken the bike through the front door.
She pushes her fringe out of her eyes.
Appreciate you putting in all that on the line for me.
And then the regular choices are just going to be my voice. How does that actually sound? Because I have no idea what that is like, because I didn't put the preview on for it. Is it something that actually works? Or is it just more annoying than anything else? Because I'll stop. Ooh, who were those guys?
Your guess is as good as mine.
She shrugs.
Didn't look like anyone nice, though. I wouldn't sweat it.
She smiles.
Go on, then. Let's see the drive.
You fish the drive out of your jacket and hand it over.
That's the one.
She squints at it.
Could have chucked it in when I had the chance.
You get your first good look at it, and there's not much to see. A small lump of solid-state memory with a few markers on the case. You spot a yellow hex among them. Hexport.
Ooh, what now? Ooh, okay. We shouldn't hang around.
Damn right.
She slides her bag around her shoulder to the front and slots the drive neatly into a pocket.
I know somebody in the scatter yards who can crack anything. She'd be my first port of call to crack this thing open.
She stretches her shoulders.
And I should make myself scarce from the spindle anyway, before those dickheads catch up with me. I just said come with us, boy. Appreciate the offer, but I think it's best we go our separate ways for now. 2 targets are harder to track than 1.
She cycles the pressure valve on the bike impatiently. Cadet leans away from her bike, squinting out of the viewing window at your ship behind.
That yours?
She doesn't wait for an answer.
If I'm not mistaken, that old thing is going to struggle to reach the scatter yards unless you've added a HasNav suite. Yeah, belt between here and the scatter yards is drowning in debris. Worse 6 hexport. You'll need hazard navigation to make the crossing safety. Lotic Syndicate created the tech to help their tankers cross the belt. Common knowledge.
Cadet nods at your ship.
Maybe if you head up to Wellspring you can barter or steal a suite.
She adds casually.
Here.
Cadet unties a bag lashed to her bike frame and holds it out to you.
Not enough for a refit, but maybe you'll find some use for him.
You take the bag and something clinks inside as you do. You open it to see a couple of engine components.
Was gonna use it to boost her,
She taps the frame of the airbike.
but you deserve him. She meets...
She meets your eye, then looks away.
Not like I'll be doing any runs for a while anyway. Thanks. It's nothing. Like I said, you deserve him.
She flexes her fingers on the bike's handles, eager to get away. Cadet's airbike stutters and purrs, trembling in the air like an arrow ready to be loosed.
See you around.
She winks and guns the throttle, zipping off down the passage with a pulse of air that ripples through your clothes. You stare after her as she goes, the bag of components still hanging from your hand. You realize, as you look down the passage, that you never asked how Cadet plans to get to the scatter yards. That question, like a score of others, will have to wait until you run into her next. Although, you have a feeling that she'll find a way to slip away before you can ask them next time as well. You head back towards your ship and stow the components, idly wondering if you could justify buying an airbike to Seraphine as you do so.
Okay, not too bad at all. Not too bad. Yes, sorry. Right, okay. I saw, Louis, you were there. No, I was just in the mix then. I'm just trying to quickly flip between all of the things. Hello, Pixie, by the way. Hello. So what, do we like the idea of me switching between all the different voices using the voice mod thing? I mean, I'm happy to do it because I think it is quite fun and adds something a bit different to it. But I'm also happy if people just want me to read it out normally. We will need to choose. I'm probably just going to have like generic voices for certain people. No worries, Kat. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate it. Okay, so we have already completed a drive. We helped out Major. Cadet has a drive from Hexport. Cracking it open might reveal the fate of the station and perhaps clear your conscience. Okay, yeah, because Hexport obviously got destroyed the last time that we were there, but we do have some points to spend now in the top right, as you can see. So we should probably look to see what we can use to improve. Now, the push skill that we've got here improves the lowest crew dice by 1, but stresses us out. And this won't stress them out as much by doing it. It will still affect me, but we're just... The thing is, I don't understand here is -1 crew stress unless full, -2 crew stress. Okay, so we can stress them out and then de-stress them by using the skill there. If we did this, we could push down through this skill tree and it would make our actual latent ability really good. However, it's probably a better idea to actually just start us getting more bonuses on the rolls that we do get. Like, we're great at endurance. Nothing else gets a bonus, but we could start pushing into the engineer skill as well and then look for somebody who has interface and intuit. Well, I'm happy with that. I'm happy that's a good compliment. Okay, so I think I'm wondering if whether I should push into this skill tree over here and make better use of my skills. The only problem is that when the stress starts going and all the dice health starts going down, that's really bad for us. So I think we're going to push into engineering a bit more, so that we start getting bonuses on our dice rolls to make even our bad rolls better for certain things. Right, so that was our full 4 points spent there. We still have 3 dice left, and one of them is a good one. But the question is whether we should look to do some other things. We should travel, because we can travel over here, we can't travel there, and we can travel to the Hellion Gate. That's going to be, if we leave, we'll get -3 hunt. So, better that we take a quick look around here. Find somebody who can tell you what's happening. This would help us with our glitching problem that we've got going on. So maybe that should be our next focus. So, we're okay for stress, we're okay for glitch, because both of those will chill out as we travel. We aren't okay for supplies, though, so we should probably go and make sure that we get some trading done. This one here? Yeah. Well, Louis, at least they gave it a try, eh? Okay, so we're going to fill up the supplies for 42. 45 in. And we're going to fill up the fuel for 10. Cool. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set our mates on here to try and just get us a bit more cryo. Is there anything else we want to do before we leave? Can't think of anything apart from maybe... Oh yeah, that's what we should do. We should go and get a decent meal in us. We are running a bit low on cash, so what we'll do is we'll zoom down to the bottom here, make use of our good 6, and we'll sell the scrap we get from working this shift. 14 cryo, fantastic. We've got some engine components as well. Decent. Right. Let's get onto the dusty trail then. Now we can either go and get some cryo from that, or we can try and do a bigger mission over here. Let's go help out Malik. Right, we're off. And skills-wise, we're going to take Bliss. Can we take both? Oh, we can take both. Oh, fantastic. Right, we're off. Cool.
The asteroid looms large in the cockpit's glass. Light glints off the sheets of surface ice, and the same glint that must have caught Malik's attention when he was fleeing the Conway countermeasures that damaged the springtide. There's been no sign of Conway drones or mines, but that hasn't stopped Seraphim being cautious in his approach. You have to admit, you found yourself searching the black void of space for a telltale blinking red beacon too.
Got to find a voice for Seraphim now. Let's have a quick look through the soundboards. Let's see what we got here. There's one called Giga Chad.
Let's do that. Yeah, Giga Chad in on this. Okay. I don't know what this actually sounds like. Hold on, I'm just going to test it out. What does this actually sound like? Yeah, fine. Whatever. We're close enough to jump down to the surface.
Seraphim locks down the engines.
I don't see anything on the scope, but I'll keep her warm just in case.
Ooh, why so jumpy?
Did you see those holes in the springtide?
Seraphim responds while looking away from the controls.
We hit one of those Conway mines, we'll be dust. Now, I have to find another voice. This is going to get too confusing, isn't it? I just feel like we're just going to end up with so many different voices that I'm going to forget who's who. I tell you what, we're just going to keep everyone as Giga Chad at the moment. I say we call this snowball fast.
Eugene shrugs.
The less time we're out here, the less likely we are to run into anything Conway left behind.
He smiles.
Simple. Sure.
Seraphim cuts in.
Fast means messy, and messy means more damage to the ice. We don't need to crack the shelf and lose half of the water we came to survey. Who says anything about messy?
Eugene stretches, unclipping from his seat.
Fast and clean. He winks at you. Easy.
You unclip from your seat and kick off towards the airlock. The scale of the asteroid is troubling, but Seraphim assures you on the journey that surveying it would be easy enough. Just take a sample from the deep ice for testing. The problem, he said, is getting down that deep. You'll have to cut away at the ice, dig yourself a hole, and doing so will create fractures in the shelf. The asteroid may be big, but it's held together with only a weak gravitational force. The more ice is cracked away, the less there is for the fast spindle to harvest, something you doubt Malik will be happy about. You push the worry to the back of your mind and get suited up.
I've just realised that I'm going to switch to regular voices for the people, and then I'm just going to do narrator for other bits. Something on your mind? Bliss drifts up beside you and pulls on the suit from the rack. Only because I've just realised how many voices there are I'm going to have to do here. I'll just do the narrator for the big bits here. So I just hope we don't mess up. Actually, no, I'm confident. Nope. They shrug. All right, then. You continue getting into your suits in silence, then step into the airlock.
The lock cycles and you find yourself staring out at the glinting surface of the asteroid.
1 second, Sleeper.
Seraphim's voice comes over the comms.
I'm seeing something here, some kind of man-made shaft, on the far side of the asteroid. Interesting.
Eugene is stood beside you in the airlock, but in this vacuum you only hear him through the comms link.
Crews sometimes stash goodies out on rocks like this. Let's go take a look.
He pats you on the shoulder. Just hold up. Seraphim's voice cuts through.
The survey is our first priority, and the integrity of the water ice. Hunting for buried treasure comes dead last on the to-do list.
You can almost hear his eyes roll through the comms link.
Don't get distracted.
You squint at the rock and spot a dark recess just over the curve of the asteroid. That'll be the distraction then. You refocus on the ice sheet. Time to get started.
Okay, gang. Right, let's do this. So, we can see here that that's our event stress down there. We need to make sure that we do not stress out this asteroid, as strange as that sounds. Ooh, actually, what I could do is I could just add a quick keybind here. So 0 I'm going to put for my clean mic. 1 I'll put for that. And that way.
Aha.
That's going to be a lot easier to
Switch between all of the
different voices, but in this case I'm just going to go between the two. Right, so we need to make sure that that does not happen, that we are able to take a look at this asteroid without stressing it out. We've got the frozen shaft and we've got the ice sheet, and then we've got our rig. So let's take a quick look at the ice sheet itself, because that's what we're here to take a look at. Interface and engineer. Now, none of us are good at interfacing, so that kind of sucks. And the engineer skill is a dangerous one, which means that that's going to be real bad for us if we fail, and that is a big old pie wheel that we need to actually fill up there. So let's take a quick look at the frozen shaft as well. Explore the cracks into it. Right, we've got good skills on this with Bliss, and great skills on the Endure here. For both Eugene and oh no, yes, Eugene is good at this. So what we're going to do is we're going to plow our best skills into this and try and complete the main mission first, and then if we've got time, we'll go for the secondary. That seems like it's the best way to win at this. So 50% positive, 50% neutral. It is a... Okay, that was a 1 thing there, and that was a neutral outcome, so I'm assuming you get 2 if you get a decent outcome. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop our 100% positive skill in here. So that actually gave us 3, which is very nice indeed. We'll pop in 100% positive again. That'll give us another 3. Beautiful. Now, there is a low chance of this, but I don't need Bliss to do anything else here. So all it's really going to do is a bit of stress on them. So let's just roll the dice, quite literally, and just see if we can get that last bit of the pie. I mean, it's a 50-50. Oh, beautiful. That worked out perfectly. So, we've now discovered a new location. Okay, so what do we need to do here? Interface, bad. Engineer skill, okay. Oh no, I've done the thing again, haven't I? I've done the bit where I've gone to the secondary mission and absolutely gung-hoed it, but it's actually the ice sheet that we need to be doing and focusing on. Gosh dang-o-rang it. Okay, fine. Not a problem. We still have dice left, and we can still start making a chip away at this right now. A fantastic start with a 3. That was a positive outcome there. So we know that we're going to get another 3 from this one over here. And then we're just left with 1 die. I don't really know what we should do with them. Let's have a quick look over here. It's a dangerous thing here. Place looks grim, but maybe with the ice you can find something useful. It's only 4 parts of the pie. Like, we could try and find out what actually happened here, but none of us have got that skill. I'm just going to be a real danger-rooney and just see what happens with the full positive one here. Yeah, I know, right? So I only need 1 more super positive one in order to actually get the skills from that. Bliss is out dice. Eugene isn't helpful with me in this at all because it's going to be a 50-50. I get that to a 2 as a 50-50, and I don't really fancy stressing myself out. So you know what? We're going to call it a day here. A fine day's digging done, friends. And I'm just going to... I know that this is a... I can't even do that, can I? I just want to get rid of that glitch dice. I just don't know which is the best one to use it on. So we'll go for the... We'll just cycle through the day. Okay. I know, to be fair, it's a pretty stressful life trying to mine that. That is a great roll for me. And no glitch. And a fairly decent roll for my crew as well. So, let's be greedy little what's-its and chuck ourselves in one of them. Actually, let's have a quick look at the other one. We know that we get a mighty 3 for each one that we do here. So what we're going to do is we're going to chuck in Oh, no, that is not your skill. Wait, are you just not good at anything here? What we got here then? Go on then, Bliss. Try not to get some stress, mate. I did say try not to get some stress, but I do appreciate that you did actually get some of the pie wheel sorted out. Now I'm going to be boosting this to a sweet-ass 5. So let's just see what we get with that. That's pretty good. This will be a sweet-ass 4. Ooh, that's where the negatives come in there. I don't really want any more stress. So we're just going to chill out on that one there. Tell you what, we're going to go back over to the secondary. We're going to chuck a 6 in. Is that what we're going to do? God, Eugene's not really able to help us out much here. Although, what does the 6 go to if I chuck it in there? Oh, it goes all the way down. That ain't good. That ain't good. Right. So, Eugene, you've let me down a little bit here, buddy. But at least I'll get the rusted treasures out of this. Fantastic. So, what does that give us? What? Don't you tell me that we've got to do both of them. You jerk. Fine then. We're just going to... The only problem is that I can't do much about this. I'm going to have to give great dice rolls that'll be -2 all the way through on that one there. Like, maybe we can just chuck a few 50-50s in it? I mean, I've got the crew here, and their stress levels don't matter that much at the moment. So we'll just plow through. Just see if we can just brute force our way through this. And then we'll chill them both out. I mean, that's okay. We got 2 done out of that. I really don't want to contribute that 1 to it, though. It's the only problem. But I will contribute this 6 over here, so that we can get another 100% positive, another 3 pieces of the pie done. Now, this is the only risky one I've got to make today, which is the potential of the 25% negative outcome. We didn't get it, and that was a big positive event. So we actually only need 2 more to finish out the day here, and I don't want to risk that 1 dice on there. So we're going to go back to the rig, sleep it off, come back the next day. I feel pretty confident, though. I feel pretty confident that we should be okay here. Ooh, that's a bad roll for me. That is a bad roll. But better for my teammates. Only problem is that we need to be slinging these dice in here in order to just see if we can get some of these extra side bonus action bits here, which we did. Ooh, okay. Well, you've done your bit, Bliss. Let's see if old Eugene can do us a favour as well. If they can get that polished off, that'd be fantastic. Ooh, we got 1. Now it's a 50-50 here. But he hasn't taken any stress yet, so we'll just take the hit on this one. Yeesh. Right. It's there, waiting to be cracked. Here, though, 50-50. Let's just get this one through and see what happens now. Amazing. A new location has been discovered. So it's the deep ice over here. Oh, and I'm good at this. I'm amazing at this. The endurance will get +2 to this. And if we analyze this, this will give us the exact same thing, that we wanted to come here for Malik. So let's just see how much a neutral and positive get us. Oh, damn it. Right, I was trying to avoid the stress, but it seems now that I can't avoid it. So we might as well just get rid of our bad dice and just take the hits on this one here. Ooh. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Okay, so we have unfortunately accrued a 2nd point of stress, but in the grand scheme of things, not too bad. And we're going to just chuck Bliss's final dice. Oh, can't do it on that one because I've already done it. And just hope that they get a 50% neutral. They did. Okay, so what happens here? Ooh, okay.
A flickering screen catches your eye in the dark of the bunker. A distorted female face, further refracted by the surrounding ice, stares at you from the terminal with blank white eyes. You move closer, straining to hear her voice, but the recording is silent, or perhaps the terminal's audio output is broken. All you can do is watch the pale face as it contorts through the corruption and noise. It could be explaining some important secret long forgotten, or just recounting a personal anecdote. It's hard to tell. Circles and curving arcs flash across the face, graphical visualizations of orbits and flight plans. You squint at them, the shapes unknown to you. And then, as soon as it starts, the playback ends, leaving a frozen frame on the screen, a ghost face circled by orbits. You start a drive into the terminal and copy what residual data is left, unsure of where it might lead you. Once it is done, you shut off the terminal. Once for all. As you leave the bunker, the pale face flashes once more in your mind. Those blank eyes, the flat stare. Was that a human or something else? You turn the image over in your mind, unsure of its importance. Well,
we found something. That's good, I guess. That's great, I guess. Cool. But the bad thing is that we're out of dice. Unfortunately, we've rolled some stress over here, so we're going to have to just take our lumps with the dice health gods. We've broken a dice. That is unfortunate. And that's really unfortunately not great rolls either. But we'll start pushing ahead. Now, all we need here is for Eugen to show up with a big 3. Come on, mate. Big 3, big 3, big 3, big 3. Oh, it was only a big 2. Now, I can boost this 5 to a 6 and get the 100% positive, which is probably what I should do. But I'm just going to go for the 50-50 on that one. Beautiful. The drill comes to a halt. The core sample is complete.
the sample core, a long and weighty cylinder of cloudy ice, comes out of the borehole cleanly. It glows in the sunlight, catching the rays in its frosted interior.
Nicely done, Sleeper.
Blitz chirps through the comms.
I've never cored an asteroid before, but the result is pretty. Let's just hope it's drinkable. Let's not melt it down for liquid refreshment just yet.
Seraphim chimes in.
It's likely packed with unpleasant impurities. The question is, are they the kind of impurities the fast spindle can filter out? Let's get it up to the ship and we can run analysis on the trip back.
Seraphim pauses.
And before you get any ideas about digging around on that asteroid some more, remember that if we break away any of the ice, Malik will likely dock our pay.
You start the journey back to the ship, dragging the sample core with you. As you do, you look back down at the asteroid, wondering if it might be the bargaining chip Malik has been looking for. You'll know soon enough.
Well, contract complete. Looks like we were pretty successful, and we've done every single thing here. And I'm pretty sure that if we leave right now, we will be able to... How do I remember this, Jules? Oh, yeah. Contract concluded. You can now travel back to the hub once you leave and not be able to return. Absolutely fine. And we recover all of our stress as well. Perfect. That was a textbook job there.
On the journey back from the asteroid, you pored over the test that Malik had given you in the run, improvising the necessary equipment for your mess. Each one produced spools of data, much of which you couldn't pass. Arriving into the vicinity of the fast spindle, you broadcast these strings of data to Malik's personal terminal on the Springtide as instructed. Despite all this preparation, you are still surprised when you find Malik standing at the far right of the docking tunnel as you leave the rig.
Sleeper, he nods
neatly at you.
I thought it was better that I come down here, away from my crew, to discuss your findings. Trust issues? I trust my crew implicitly.
He clasps his hands.
But they, like me, are members of the Lotic Syndicate, and so they answer to an authority higher than mine, one that rewards loyalty and obedience.
He smiles.
I'm simply guarding my position as captain, as any of them would. As I suspected, the asteroid was indeed rich with water ice. Thankfully, the contaminants can be dealt with.
He speaks matter-of-factly, betraying little emotion.
With the data you provided, I should be able to convince the Fast Spindle administration of its worth. So, to payment then? Before I make payment, I would like to ask in person if you saw anything else of consequence, anything to share with me that might affect my dealings with the fast spindle.
He folds his arms across his chest.
I would prefer not to have any surprises when they go to retrieve the water. I think I'll tell him about the shaft there. I'd be playing this as a very sort of like, some would say naive playthrough, but I have been very honest about what I've seen and done here. Interesting, Malik smiles. It's likely of no consequence, but there is something of value there. It actually could play to my benefit. I'll mention the potential of additional salvage to the Fast Spindle administration. Given the data, it doesn't seem to have impacted the ice.
Malik reaches into his pocket and produces a stack of cryo chits, bound carefully with a strip of paper.
250 cryo, as agreed. You take the chits and quickly tuck them away. With that, our business is concluded, Sleeper.
Malik nods lightly.
I must speak with the administration to negotiate the release of my ship and then prepare for immediate departure. The Syndicate will be eager for my successful return. Thank you.
Malik bows and turns.
Should our paths cross again, I will see that it will be to your benefit. See, I think it was useful doing that. I do think it was useful because we got a lot of cash out of that as well. Sleeper.
Seraphin catches your attention as you go to leave the ship. Can I have a minute?
Of course.
Seraphin ducks into a maintenance passage and waits for you to follow. In the narrow passage framed by loose wires and thick conduit, Seraphin looks subtly small, trapped. He looks at an open circuitry panel as he speaks, avoiding your gaze. You see that he's playing with a coin in his hand, nervously spinning it in the air.
Since we cleared Hexport, I've been putting feelers out for something.
He rubs his hands nervously.
I've been in the belt a long time and I came here alone, but back on Darkside, just before we made a break for it, I heard something. I heard someone was looking for me.
He pauses, trying to organize his thoughts.
Who's after you, mate? I also heard something else. They said the person looking for me claimed to be my sister.
He waits to see your reaction.
You have a sister? I did, yeah, I do.
He shakes his head.
But I don't even know if it's really her. Just because somebody says they're my sister, well, I can't be sure. The thing is, I haven't seen my sister in a long time. I was still a kid when I left. So was she, though I don't think that she would have liked to admit it at the time.
He smiles to himself.
I know you don't remember how it was back in Darkside, I mean.
He sighs.
But we were alone, you and me. Lane didn't let us out much, just to work, and that was all. So when I overheard one of his guys mention someone was sniffing around, trying to find me, I didn't know what to think.
He frowns.
And then, hearing that it could have been my sister...
He goes quiet. He tried to recall that time, that cycles spent under Lane's influence, working for him in exchange for stabilizer. You close your eyes, focus, but the details flicker, the images collapse and reform. Has Seraphin told you this before? Was this all part of your plan?
Wait, is this why you helped me escape? Yes.
He shrugs.
It changed things for me. The thought that she could be out there. Don't get me wrong, I wanted to get you out of there too.
He pauses, and you sense that he's finding this difficult.
I know it doesn't matter now, but I've told you about her back then. Before. Why tell me now? Since we got away, since Hexport, I've been asking around, speaking to spacers, traders, and like I said, something has finally come up. It seems whoever was trailing me left Darkside pretty soon after Utsubo caught wind of her sniffing around. I don't think they made her feel very welcome, but I managed to get a name. The name she gave, Luz, wasn't my sister's. Luz? But that doesn't mean much. It gave me something to follow. She bounced around the wash a little. Farspindle, flotsam, not sure why.
He squints at the loose wire.
The last thing she did was book passage to Wellspring on a Lotic freighter. That's it. I could have helped. I wanted something concrete, something clear. You want to help? Now's your chance. I really want to go to Wellspring, Sleeper, to know if it's really her, and if it isn't, to settle what needs settling. Let's do it. Thank you, Sleeper. He meets your eye. No.
He meets your eye.
I will admit, it has been strange, reminding myself that everything we talked about back on Darkside, everything we did, it's lost now.
He smiles.
But I'm glad to see that you're still you, whatever that means. I'm not even sure I know who I am, buddy. Me neither.
He smiles.
Anyway, better get back to it.
Seraphim squeezes past you in the corridor and glides back towards the engine room. You watch him go, wondering if the past together can ever be reclaimed. Your mind wanders to thoughts of Seraphim's sister. For a moment, you wonder what it's like to actually have a family, and if you'll ever know.
Well-a-dee, well-a-dee, well-a-dee. Looks like things are getting spicy for the pepper. Okay, so we need to find Seraphim's sister, and that is a major plot point. So we've got to go to Wellspring for that. Jeepers creepers, we got a lot of big things going over here. But we should probably finish off this drive that we've got here. Now that we've got a lot of chits, which is great news for us, we can stock up on supplies, because that is always useful. We'll fill up on fuel, just so we've got ready to make a quick escape if we need to. And to be fair, this Solheim data, what do we want to do with that? What do we want to do with any of these things? Let's investigate Hexport. And we're going to meet up with Cadet in the scatter yards. So the question is, where the hell are the scatter yards? Because they ain't here, so it must be they are in the wider expanse. And we ain't getting there because it's irradiated. So we need to find the hazmat suit in almost the HazNav in order to get there. So we can't do that one. We could take a look at where Wellsprings is. I'm assuming it's... Whoa, it's... Oh my god. How big is this game? We can't get to there because we need the HazNav. So, the only thing that's left to do here is diagnose the frame. So hopefully this will be where... Hopefully this will be where we find the HazNav. So, plans. Let's make some. Let's have a quick look at what we've got here. We don't need money. We don't need supplies and fuel. We've got enough to repair the dice. Repairing the dice. Good point there, Jules. Let's go and actually repair one then. So we'll repair the broken dice we've got there. And the best part is that we are not stressed out, so we are good to go. So let's get away and make sure that Lane can't be chasing us anytime soon. So we're going to go straight out to Flotsam. And away we go. Motoring on through here.
It's hard to tell where Flotsam ends and the ship's packed at its many docking bridges begin. As Seraphim docks with the station, you realize that the rig now looks like just another piece of accumulated technology. One more bit of driftwood added to the raft.
I love this place.
Seraphim smiles as he shuts down the engines. You never know what you'll find.
You've been here before? Yeah, back when I first came to the belt. The crew I signed on with used to run salvage jobs out of here. Fun place to spend your wages.
You see Bliss eyeing the station with what looks like both horror and fascination.
You see the seals?
They point out some twisted assemblage of ship parts.
Total cowboy welds that could pop apart at any moment.
Seraphim waves away their concerns.
Oh, that's just the outer layer. I heard that there's like 6 or 7 in all, so if one fails, it's no problem.
He stretches and turns to you.
You've got to taste some of the stuff they grow in Old Takahi? Old Takahi.
He kisses his fingers.
That's the good shit. Oh, great.
Bliss sighs.
So many layers of redundancy and fallbacks that you have no hope of isolating a leak and fixing it.
They rap on the wall of the rig.
Sounds like a ship I know. Hey now, you leave the rig alone.
Seraphim joins in, the two of you shoulder to shoulder.
She got you out here, didn't she?
He shrugs at Bliss.
No sense of gratitude. I was joking.
Bliss looks a little hurt and drifts out of the cockpit, shaking their head. You go to follow, but Seraphim puts a hand on your shoulder.
Sleeper,
You look suddenly serious.
Remember when I said about getting checked out? There are artificers all over this place. It'll take a bit of searching, but we need to know what's going on with you.
You meet your eye.
Don't worry, I will handle it. Good.
Seraphim nods.
It's important. I'm gonna go see if any of my old haunts are still open.
He drifts out of the cockpit with a mock salute.
Catch you later.
You're left alone in the cockpit with a view of Flotsam's chaotic structure. You look over the multicolored plating. It does, you admit, have a certain charm.
Okay then, let's see what we got here. So, there is... Oh, what's this time thing here? Is that going to be... Oh, so every single time we stay in a place for too long, he'll be coming to find us. So let's go check out this area here. We can explore with Intuit, which we don't have, or we can analyze the structure with Engineer, which we do have, and have a bonus too. So let's have a quick look around and see what we can find. Well, the neutral outcome is just 1. I mean, let's check with the 3 skill. Ooh, lost a bit of energy, but we got another pip. Let's see what a 6 will do for this. Ooh, gives us a fat 2. And we've discovered a new location. We've got a new bar over here where we can buy a meal or take recovery contract. The narrow escapes barman has a tip about a recovery contract for a few chits. He'll give you the coordinates. Yeah. We'll take it. So we get scrap and components for it. It's pretty cool. And then we've got a fuel tanker over here. We can buy scrap components, buy fuel, or fill fuel. Nice. We might as well always keep ourselves topped up. Because you never know. When you got money, keep it in the resources here. Okay, useful to know. But let's see what other things we can learn from this place. I may take a gamble on the glitchy dice as well. Ooh, another new location discovered. This time we found antique ship. Work the hydroponics. What do we get from doing this? We will be able to buy and fill supplies, so I guess we'll just get cash from this. Now, this is an 80% negative, 20% positive. I might as well just chuck my dice here. Just see what happens. You never know. You never know. We got some minus energy, but we got some cryo out of it. Fine. It's probably the best that we can do in that situation. Right, let's sleep it off and head back tomorrow. I don't want to say that we're like doing really well at this, but I think that we're doing okay, you know? Doing okay. A pretty decent dice roll as well. I'll gladly take that. Especially when we can just chuck one of these engineer points in here, and hopefully we get a positive outcome, and then that'll fill up both of those bars. And it does. There we go.
The chaos of Flotsam intrigues you. Passage to passage, it is the most incoherent place you've ever visited. Plating, cladding, and cushioning of all kinds of conditions hides a forest of wires and ducts, interfacing in ways that manufacturers would never dream possible. Rooms have crushed cargo bays, flipped bridges, and eviscerated engine rooms. Patchwork corridors unlumpen with messy welds, bending worryingly along their length. It is, to put it nicely, a total mess. It's not that you don't like it, but finding an artificer amongst this chaos has been more than a little challenging. Hey, nerdy. This cycle, searching these winding passages once more, seeing only scrap merchants and junk shops, you have begun to wonder if Seraphim had any idea of what he was talking about when he advised you come here.
A sleeper.
A voice cuts through the pungent air.
Well, I never.
You glance in the voice's direction and find yourself looking at a small booth powered with tech. Behind a fogged and scratched plastic screen is a meticulously arranged counter, the only clear spot in sight. At it, an older man with wet and wondering eyes sits neatly.
Excuse me?
The man's eyes widen.
Apologies. I wasn't even sure you'd hear me. Jean-Mi.
Jean-Mi tilts his head.
I didn't mean to be rude, please.
And he bows a little. No, don't worry about me. He smiles warmly, almost bowing again, his hunched shoulders accentuating the movement.
How...
He pauses, taking care with his speech now.
How are you feeling, Sleeper?
He beckons you a little closer.
I am Jean-Michel, though, please, to you, Jean-Mi. Jean-Mi, maybe? I work with machines.
He sweeps a hand above his counter where you can see configurations of tiny parts.
Mostly small ones.
He smiles.
I'm not that great, buddy. Of course.
He chops with his hand to indicate a stool with a leg bar meant for perching beside his counter, and such is the clarity and persuasiveness of his movement that you obligingly sit.
Your presence is a rare honor here.
He smiles and looks down into his lap.
I'm sorry if I made you feel uncomfortable. I'm just very pleased to see you. That's okay, dude. Don't worry about it.
He looks up.
Very kind of you to say. I can see your journey to me has not been easy.
He says with genuine concern. You track his eyes across your body, noticing the scuff marks on your thick, vinyl-like skin, the replaced and broken parts of your body, the marks of violence. You pull your jacket a little tighter. Jean-Mi folds his hand one over the other and places them on the counter.
I do not know what your experiences have been, but I want to assure you that I see you as a person, a being, a soul, shall we say, as valid as any other.
You look at Jean-Mi, his own age and wear also evident, a life of precise and careful work shaping his body into a reflection of his process. You note his unconfident way of speaking, which betrays a certain loneliness, a lack of practice. It is his turn to feel observed.
I understand. You are kind.
The frankness of the remark takes you by surprise. He looks down at his counter and begins to take apart a tiny piece of machinery that sits there.
Many years ago, when I began my apprenticeship, I would find that whenever I saw something that was, was not working well, I was fixated on it and its repair. He tinkers
with the parts, twisting them precisely.
Of course, the belt is filled with this kind of dysfunctional detail, and so I was busy for many years with these small fixings.
He smiles in reminiscence.
But now I find when I'm interested in a thing that isn't working as it should,
he sharply twists one of the parts between his fingers.
It's because it might have some quality not yet foreseen or discovered.
He releases the altered object into the air where it balletically twists in a hypnotic display, like a spinning top whose movements are totally unpredictable. Jean-Mi smiles at you watching his hypnotic toy.
I can see that you're in a process of becoming, Sleeper. He catches
the spinning toy between a finger and thumb.
Let me aid you in this. I mean, what do you mean?
Jean-Mi's precise hands drop to a device around his neck. He deftly pulls a pair of goggles up to his face, masking his wet eyes.
Hold still, Sleeper.
Something flickers inside the goggles, their face blank. Jean-Mi's hands play across buttons and switches on the exterior, tuning, focusing.
Just let him work.
When the goggles are finally lowered, they reveal a look of concern on Jean-Mi's face.
I think you better come inside.
He kicks off from his desk and disappears. A moment later, you hear a rattle and a small bulkhead door beside the booth that you had assumed was rusted shut creaks open. Jean-Mi beckons you inside. Jean-Mi's workshop is even more cramped than you expected. As you enter, you are surrounded on all sides with netting holding bundles and bundles of terminals, servers, drives, and cables. At its center, a padded seat and a set of articulated arms mounted with sensors and tools fit the space.
The seat, please.
Jean-Mi gestures at it with a polite smile.
Yeah, sit down.
You tentatively settle on the seat, slipping your arms and feet into the straps meant to keep you from floating out of it in zero-G. Jean-Mi floats beside you. He looks across your body.
There is damage here, I see that. We'll get to that. But I see something else here as well. This is why you came.
He looks at you solemnly.
Yeah. Though I have never met a sleeper, I have studied them. I was lucky to acquire some materials from SNR some time ago in the interest of my own endeavors.
He begins arranging a series of sensors around you on articulated arms.
You are pleasingly distinct from those materials.
His eyes flash with excitement.
Am I right in thinking that you've been modified? Well, I did reboot myself, but we should be speaking about that in public, you know what I'm saying? Yes, I see that your dependency on stabilizer, the immune recording portion of its makeup at least, has been broken.
He gives you a precise look.
But that's not all. You are physically modified.
Not externally, but internally.
He carefully positions the final sensor. Your tracker is disabled, which makes it impossible for S and ARP to find you. Congratulations.
He smiles broadly.
But this is not all. You have been modified, yes, but you are also being modified as we speak.
You feel a strange claustrophobia at Jean-Mai's statement. Modified? Seraphim rebooted your system, ran the recording protocol, but that shouldn't have physically changed you. It only removed your planned obsolescence.
That can't be right. That can't. That's not good. That doesn't sound good. Then you were not aware.
He nods.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Jean-Mai then goes to the terminal and flicks a switch. To the back of the translucent screen, you see a nodal web in the vague shape of a sitting body. Your body.
These changes appear to be complex, subtle, but consistent.
Jean-Mai goes silent as he taps the terminal, the representation of your body rotating and folding in unsettling motions.
Genuinely, how is this happening? Doesn't sound great. How is a good question.
He squints.
How? I am unsure of. See here.
He points at a flickering representation of your spine, tracing a line towards your head.
Your nervous system is growing additional nodal points here and here.
Meanwhile, your emulation interfaces,
growing an umbilical access port, though towards what end I am unsure.
You instinctively reach back and touch the base of your head. As you do, the scan flickers and screeches with noise. You feel for something there, growing under your thick vinyl skin. Can you feel a lump, or is that just your imagination? You pick at it. Jean-Mai sighs and shuts off the terminal.
The changes are partial, and in all honesty,
he gestures sharply at the sensors.
The resolution is too poor. I need to run a full diagnostic. But for that, I would need...
He drifts over to another terminal and brings up screens and screens of text and diagrams.
Hey, Brandon, how's it going, friend? Yes, some kind of medium to hold your suspended emulation. The access jack I can build myself, but we will need to bridge your emulation.
Jean-Mai speaks quietly, almost to himself.
A ship mind would be ideal for this. It would have to be high capacity, a prime ship mind, Solheim in origin. Perhaps Helion Gate might hold records of any that were in the system.
He taps at the terminal. Jean-Mai turns back to you.
Yes, the prime ship mind is essential if you wish further investigations to be done. I will need this above all.
He thumbs the terminal off.
I'm sorry to say, Sleeper. Well, okay. I'm gonna need a minute. Of course.
Jean-Mai busies himself with taking down the sensors and folding away the articulated arms. As he does, you try to calm yourself. You feel as if you have worms under your skin, and it takes all your focus not to pick at its seams. Jean-Mai subtly but gently places a hand on yours.
Please remain calm. He puts a
carefully restored rare component in your hand.
This can help you.
Jean-Mai waits for you to fall still, then he leans back a little, reliving some of the strange intimacy of the moment.
For now, our work is concluded.
He meshes his fingers again and bows with a small head bob.
But you are welcome anytime. Oh, cheers, mate. Of course.
His manner seems to have returned to something more businesslike. A humble man who knows his customers' needs. You get up from the seat, a little dazed, and push away into the passage.
Safe travels, Sleeper.
Jean-Mai says quietly, placing the promised list in your hand as he lets you back into the station. You leave dazed, unsure of how you feel about the insistence of this man's particular kindness, but most of all haunted by the idea of unseen processes that are running within you. Part of you does not wish to know anything further, to leave this place and never look back, and another is desperate to immediately retrieve every object on this list so that you may know what strangeness is happening within you. For now, you must steady yourself and find a way to continue.
Well, well, well. That doesn't sound good, that you've got sort of more processes going on underneath your skin without you being aware. Danger, Will Robinson.
Seraphim comes to find you in your bunk. After Jean-Mai's assessment, you find yourself drifting back to the rig in need of familiarity and comfort of your own ship.
Sleeper?
He drifts in.
You found an artificer.
He hovers by the door, looking concerned.
I'll explain, because me and Seraphim have been bros the entire time, so we'll let him in.
You tell him about Jean-Mai, how he offered you repairs and ran an assessment of your frame. You described the cramped booth, the articulated arms, the strangeness of seeing your own body anatomized upon the terminal screen. Then you tell him that your body is changing, growing in ways that Jean-Mai cannot identify, that some process has been started and you do not know where it will end. You mention umbilical ports and nodal points, trying your best to remember the details of the things that Jean-Mai asked you to retrieve. Seraphim grows pale and silent. He shakes his head when you stop talking.
Lane.
He frowns. That piece of shit has to be behind this.
Perhaps. For sure.
Seraphim looks stubbornly at the floor.
We'll get what you need. We'll find that ship mind.
He nods.
A bit of work here and there, and we can make it to Hellion Gate and wherever else. What about your stuff? We'll do that too. He thumps.
He thumps the wall.
We're free, Sleeper. No one can stop us. Just say the word, okay?
He goes quiet.
Don't give up on yourself just yet.
He smiles.
Get up and get back to it.
With that, he turns and kicks off down the corridor, disappearing from sight. You wait a little while, staring at the stained ceiling of the bunks, letting the thoughts settle in your mind. And then, when you are ready, you get up and leave, dazed but with a strong determination growing in your chest.
Ooh, that's a lot to take in. Plot twist, you're bad, Sam. Yeah, you got the Futurama worms. They're just all inside you, making you a better human. Okay, so we've got the artificer's shop over here, so we can go back if we have the right data. And we also have interrogators' offices. This is new. Which, unfortunately, I do not have any single one here. Now, the thing is, we can't help out with either of those two without basically just minusing 2 from our dice. We're not sure what we need from it, but we do actually have some engine components, but I'm just not sure what they do. How you're meant to improve your ship with them. Interesting. Interesting indeed. But it seems that that's all we can do at Flotsam for the moment without getting something from Hellion's Gate. So we're going to need to go straight there in order to do anything. Apart from... Oh, there is this other little contract here. We can get scrap and components. You know what? We're here. It's only going to do 2 fuel. Let's go. Let's go. We'll fly out with these guys. This will hopefully give us some more experience as well, which will be nice. And we'll see how we get on with that. Oh, actually, I've got a voice for this one. We're going to do radio ones. 2 secs.
Keep your hands where I can see them.
The voice crackles. Oh.
The voice crackles over the open channel of your suit comms as you stand near the stranded rig. You slow your approach a little as you move towards the ship, its shape lumpy and skeletal in the distant light of the sun.
Oh, a warm welcome. Bodes well for the rest of the job.
This shoots you a concerned look. You look up at the stranded ship ahead. Clearly, they are feeling a bit exposed.
We're here to help.
Well, I figured that.
The voice retorts.
Otherwise, I would have put a hole in that shiny rig of yours.
You arrive at the side of the rig, inspecting the damage as you do. The half the hull plating and big chunks of the internal structure seem to be missing, but you have a feeling that this is not what you're here to fix. The airlock opens and you move inside, the interior all exposed wires and metal framework. The systems wheeze and shudder as it cycles. What a cool image.
Nothing of value here, so if you're looking to steal something, you're welcome to it. Oh, he must be
in front of us now.
Alma greets you plainly inside the rig.
You do your work that's needed, and I'll let you take your half of the whole. Hey, Count, how's it going, my friend? Good to see you. Well, straight to business, I see. Ain't that what you're here for? Her face is as placid and as unchanging as a rock. If you're expecting a tea party, you'll be surely disappointed. Here's the short of it. Engine's conked out on me and I'm no engineer. Can usually get her going, but this time, no dice.
She looks between you and the rest of her crew.
Surprised there's so many of you, to be honest. Bliss smiles sympathetically. Sorry about that. Don't worry, I've worked on these engines before.
They give Alma a wink.
I can handle this. Don't be so sure.
Alma leads you towards the engine room, the layout of her rig much the same as yours.
This girl is the sensitive type. You need to know how to handle her.
The central corridor of the ship snakes in a way that isn't familiar to you, and you realize this ship is far more heavily modified than your own, something that becomes all the more obvious when you arrive at the engine room. Rather than the rig's stock engine, a singular block and double turbine with feed lines between, Alma's engine is a mess of piping and feed lines, linking up multiple raw components welded to the interior frame of the room. Your eyes widen at the sight.
Been adding to her since I was young.
Alma smiles at the chaos.
Might look like a mess, but she purrs when she's running.
Bliss is shaking their head slowly.
Oh, sleeper.
Then let out a puff of air.
This is gonna be special.
You struggle to tell if they're intimidated or impressed. Perhaps it's a little of both.
That's about all of it.
Alma gestures to the exposed engine.
Get her running and you'll get your half of the haul. What's the haul?
Alma glides over to a window set in the side of the engine room and points to the corroded remains of a facility deep in the asteroid's loose, dusty surface.
That there's the haul.
She taps on the glass.
As good a find as I've seen. The haul is a building? Building and all that's in it.
Alma screws her face.
What, you too good for scrapping? By rights, that building's mine. Scrapper's claim.
Alma scratches at her mess of hair.
But you help me get her running, and you're welcome to take what you want from it, up to a maximum of 50% of raw mass, that is. We have to extract it ourselves?
She looks you up and down, and you feel the first acknowledgement of you being a sleeper.
I doubt it'll trouble one of you. Anyway, you're leaving with nothing unless you get my girl here back in shape by the time you're done.
She folds her arms across her chest.
So get to it.
You turn back to the engine, your eyes tracing the madness of interlocking systems. You're starting to have the horrible feeling that this contract is some kind of elaborate joke.
Oh dear, this is probably going to be much more work than the reward we're going to get from it. But let's take a lucky look and see what we can do with this. So we've got the room facility, our rig, and Alma's rig. So let's take a look here. So the engine study, we can get that fixed pretty easily, and I've got the endure skill, so I'm going to get a big bonus to these dice here. 50% positive, 50% neutral. Let's see what we get with this one. So positive outcome, it gives a 2-er. Let's chuck in another one and see if we can make that a 4. We can indeed, but I did take a bit of stress from that, from the neutral outcome, because it's a dangerous one. Gotcha. Okay, Bliss, on the other hand, can start making short work of this. Perfect. And before we do, we'll just scan the other area here. Did it always read out loud? What do you mean? Did I always read it out loud? This is me with a voice mod thing. So I'm reading everything, but I'm just
switching between all of the
different voices, as you can see here.
I've got quite a few on.
And which means that I should be
able to go quite
quickly between all of.
Then hopefully it won't be too
confusing for people to listen
to. But for now, I'll keep it on the clean. I'm keeping it on clean voice for people's actual voices. And then I'm going to the narrator for whenever I want to read big passages of text.
And sometimes I'll just chuck in one of these
if it seems appropriate or funny.
So let's check out what we've got here. Oh, I get a big bonus on this one here for gathering some scrap. And there's some hidden treasures too. Now, who's good at this? Eugen, unfortunately, ain't going to be that much use to me on this one here, really. It's just basically like farming their dice to chuck into things that I'm already good at. So we get one. And then let's see what we'll get from this one here. Bit of stress. Not good. Now, over here, let's just see what we can get from Bliss having a quick search through this. Ooh, took a bit of stress. I think that was going to be the hardest thing for us to do, getting the actual secrets out of that. But we shall see. But going back over here, like I say, I get huge bonuses. Yeah, I was just thinking, like, because some people came in earlier, I think it was Eduardo, said that it was good voice acting and then retracted it, maybe thinking that I wasn't actually the one reading it out. But yes, it's all me. Every voice you hear is me. I should have been hired to do the game. Let's go and make the most of our big bonuses. 100% positive. We'll just keep focusing on getting the main task done. And I won't take a risk on the stress dice here. I'm just going to leave it be because at the moment, both of these actually are very useful for my character. So we'll take a cheeky little sleepy. And then we'll come back to it and see if we can finish this off. Because if we could... Ooh, a good roll for Bliss. Terrible roll for Eugen. I think we might just have to, unfortunately, chuck a few down here. Just... Now, you're going to get a 50% neutral thing here anyway, so you might as well just start trying to help out with the Intuit skill, which we don't have. And, yeah, unfortunately, that was pretty bad. But Bliss can step in and hopefully start getting a few more of the hidden treasures over here. Ooh, come on, guys. Not a single success so far. Don't leave it all down to me. Thank you. Right. We'll chip away at that one there. But we're going to really fix... this should be enough to finish off that. We need one more. I'll chuck a 2 in there. No, I won't, because that could damage my dice. I'm just going to have to drop a 5 in there, but it's better than having the stress. Now, is this going to do anything here? Okay.
You gather in Alma's rig to see the engine tested. The engine room purrs and chitters. It seems to warm with the sound of the engine, with the polyrhythmic vibrations that rattle through the open framework of the interior. You look over to Alma and you see her eyes are closed, a small tremble at the corner of her mouth. You look at the engine, Alma's engine, an object that you have come to respect over the past cycles, even if you haven't necessarily grown to love it. It is, as you see now, a difficult thing to love. Whole parts of it make little sense, and its oldest systems, those now bypassed and made obsolete by newer additions, still somehow play an integral role you don't understand. It is unwieldy and unnecessarily so, and the accumulation of parts and patches from its long service make it surprisingly fragile. Meanwhile, other sections have been welded and re-welded so many times that they are impregnable and will never be able to be replaced. It is uncooperative and prone to sudden outbursts of cooling fluid or even fuel. It is restless and will begin to leak when left idle for too long. It's always too cold or too hot thanks to the coolant and the fuel, and it's hard to predict which it will be at any given moment. And yet, despite all of this, it's an object you feel close to, that you feel kinship with, because in the end you, too, are an accumulation of broken parts, long outliving their operational limits. You two are a machine that has become a story, and a story that has grown beyond the ability of others to understand it. You look over to Alma again, and Bliss is there beside her. You can see that they are talking, but with the engine running, you can't hear them. You watch for a moment, Bliss now patiently listening as, in faltering words, Alma explains something to them. Bliss nods, and then they suddenly embrace, gently and with care. Bliss pushes back, and as soon as the moment has passed, it seems like it might not have happened at all. Nothing in the two figures' attitudes betrays the act, and the room seems unchanged. You try to remember that you have seen them speaking before now, and that you recall that there are many moments when you were not with Bliss. As you watch Alma approach, you realize the engine is not just special to you, and that between her and Bliss, it might have been the bridge to some unique kind of respect.
That's the job, Sleeper.
Alma approaches you from the other side of the room.
And you know where the payment is to be found. I believe that brings our business to an end.
Alma scratches at her hair.
Unless you all have something to add. Nope, that's all. Fine then, she sniffs. I appreciate the assistance. You're welcome to take what you want from the hangar, if you hadn't already.
You see a knowing shimmer in her eyes.
Now I must kindly ask you to leave my ship.
As the airlock cycles, you look at Bliss and swear that you see a tear in their eye.
What did Alma say?
Bliss turns to you as if they forgot that you were there.
She just reminded me of why I do what I do, why I fix things.
They look ahead.
There's a beauty to it.
You find yourself drifting away from Alma's rig in a haze of thoughts. It's clear that this point in Alma's history have written all over this place. But more than that, well, you can't be sure. The story, it seems, isn't for you. You realize as you gaze at the broken remains of the facility that Alma never took any of her half of the haul. You turn back and squint at the cockpit of the rig. You see her there, looking out across the wasteland, still as a statue.
Hello, hello, hello. How's it going? Thank you for the lovely comment of gorgeous egg. Big kiss for you. Mwah.
It's an image that, as you load into the rig and begin preparations to depart, that will stick with you. One that every time you enter the engine room of your own ship, a room almost identical to the engine room of Alma's rig, will leap into your mind. A woman floating above the wreck of what was once her home, looking for a reason to keep going.
Well, the contract is complete, but we've got some stuff to grab, my friends. So let's grab everything we can. Actually, let's just play it safe. We'll just get as much as we can from this. Yum. And as much as we can get from this. And then we'll finish that side off and then just chuck all of the dice we can into the component search and just get as much as we can. Okay, so we'll end there. I'm not going to risk my 2 dice because if I get the stress level up on it, then that'll be bad news for me. So, everyone's... Oh, that's a good smattering of dice right there. But all we really care about is chucking in these into this, just so that we can... Because no one's good at this skill. But it doesn't matter, because if we can just get through this... That's it. We'll just claim as much as we can from the hidden treasures. Ooh, if we can get one more good result here. Ooh, okay. So final check will be... Oh, that's not good. Let's just leave that for the moment. And let's grab what we can here. And I'll chuck some good dice into it here. Okay, so we've got some raw materials. Fantastic stuff. Oh, we found something.
You rest a moment, taking a break from dragging the plates you've cut across the asteroid's surface. You find yourself looking upwards towards Alma's rig, still there on the edge of the crater, and wondering if she's watching. With her engine fixed, you half expected her to leave immediately, but she remains there on the horizon and able to leave this place. As if in response, your comms channel buzzes.
A nice pull you got there.
Alma announces herself in the open channel.
We'll make scrappers of you kids yet. That scrap will earn you a pretty penny if you know what you're doing.
She continues.
Holmes Rock is always a good place to offload. I'll give you that for free.
You look at the stack of ragged, torch-cut plates as they are loaded up into the rig's cargo hold, and you have to admit that you do feel a little pride in the work done.
Thank you.
You earned it.
You glance over your shoulder at the cockpit of Alma's rig where you can see her watching.
So, what is this place? There's a click on the open chat.
Nope. As it closes, and Alma seems to take a moment to consider her response. She clears her throat.
How about you tell me what you think, Sleeper?
Solheim. Alma coughs and splutters.
Oh hell no, this place ain't old enough or solid enough to be from before the collapse.
He sighs.
Plus, those old corporate types preferred much grander projects than tin pot hanger on a dusty rock.
Alma goes quiet for a moment, but you wait, getting the feeling that there's more to be said.
See the old arrays on the far side?
You turn and look at the rock towards the broken frames and panels that you can just make out in the dust, catching the sun's weak light.
Those were the first priority. Get power running, recharge the cells for the excavators, the welders, then turn the scrap into something livable.
She falters and coughs.
Look at them now.
You see the tumble-down collection of panels. They look like they were scattered by a careless hand, discarded without much thought. The comms channel clicks off, and you can see the distant silhouette of Alma drift from view out of the cockpit of her rig. You turn back to see the scrap has been loaded into the ship, your half with the haul, though you suspect this place is more than just a haul to Alma. Well, we've managed to get those good
bits out, so why don't we just try and just finish off the job? Admittedly, we'll get some stress here, but we'll just power through. And it worked, I think. So we've got some hidden treasures. Here we go. This is what we came for.
There's a hiss and a rush of stale air as the sealed bay deep inside the facility's tunnel opens for the first time in years. The beams of your suit lamps reach into the dark, picking out waves of dust and debris. They reveal a small bay big enough for a shuttle, but not a rig like yours. As you glide inside, those same beams catch on the frame of something that sits in the center of the bay. It's wide and flat with a cylindrical central section that runs its length. As you move around it, looking at the sections of plates and open frame, you realize it's a ship, or at least it was. This frame, filled with rusted components and partially covered with old hull plates, suggests a fast ship, an arrowhead designed to cut through debris and even atmosphere. You float up a little to see into its central cylinder, and your lamps reveal a cockpit outfitted for 2 people, one sat beside the other. The seats are carefully upholstered, and you realize this was a labor of love. The whole ship, in fact, seems to be built by hand, a custom model with little function out here beyond looping around asteroids for the thrill of it. Looking closer, brushing away the surface corrosion, you see flames painted on the hull plates in circulating patterns, the brushstrokes visible even after what must be many years. As you inspect the half-finished ship, a sense of quiet wonder keeping you silent, you notice a glint towards its rear. You approach it and see an engine, all interlocking tubes and flared vents. It's unlike anything you've seen before, but the holes in its sides suggest it may have never been finished. These holes are the source of the glint. You reach in and pull out some strange-looking engine components, each pristine and complex. You hesitate for a moment, suddenly feeling like you shouldn't be disturbing such an intimate object. But it occurs to you that nothing would please the person who built this ship more than to see those handmade components put to use. You secure them to your suit and push away from the ship. As you leave the bay, you turn to take one last look at the treasure inside. It's possible it never flew, or perhaps it was in the middle of an extensive refit when this place was abandoned. Either way, its flying years have long since passed, and now with the bay open, it will corrode much faster, melding with the anonymized scrap of this place in their cycles. You suppress a shiver, and then start the journey back up to the surface, aware of the components dangling on your side.
Ooh, well, I mean, that sounds great that we've got some cool new components. Hopefully we can figure out what we need to do with them. Because I haven't found a place. Are you meant to sell them? I'm not entirely sure. But we have completed this. That means that we can leave, go back home. We can trade what we've got. We can make sure that we're refueled. That is an exceptionally good roll for me. I wish that actually meant something. Is there anything that we can do with this? Buy fuel. Fill fuel. Right. Well, let's do the usual. Let's top up on fuel. Only thing that we can't seem to buy here is supplies. So we'll need to go back. There's nothing to complete over here. We can buy engine components. feel like I'm missing something here. So what I'm going to just quickly do is go to the guide. Glitches, the rig, Dyson skills, cycle and energy. Contract features, no. Maps. I just wanted to see what I could... Repair dice using components. Upgrade the fuel capacity of the rig. Right, so we haven't got the engine yet. Maybe they are required. Got ya. Okay. Fine. So at the moment, I think that we've done everything that we need to do over here. What we need to do is really just get out of here, get up, and go all the way to Hellion Gate. Problem is, though, is that we're going to need to buy supplies as soon as we get there. So let's head on out. See what we got.
Nice.
Oh, Count, thanks so much, man. Thank you very much for the donation. Absolutely loving the voice mods that you're doing for this. Extra effort. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it. It is a bit of fun as well, because it's just like, it's fun for me to read out stuff like this, and I just want to make it as entertaining as possible.
Hellion Gate hangs over the rig. Its corroded arches resemble the dislocated vertebrae of some vast, long-dead serpent.
That is one big, ugly scrap pile.
Seraphim whistles from the pilot's seat.
Solheim didn't like to build them small. It's a monument to hubris.
Seraphim shoots you a sideways glance.
Feeling poetic, sleeper? Got to be big if you want to fit every ship that visits the system through it.
Bliss cuts in from the back of the cockpit.
Impressive, really, building something so massive out here. Solheim likes to impress visitors, sure.
Seraphim leans forward, looking for the best place to enter the structure.
But they also like to scan entire ships and impound those that didn't enter through the gate.
Seraphim catches your eye, looking for some agreement.
Not the most admirable qualities. Solheim was a curse on this system, that's what I'm going to say.
Seraphim nods.
Better off without them, that's for sure. I agree, but without them, this system would just be two gas giants and a load of rocks. No harm in recognizing it.
You look out of the cockpit towards the gate, its layers of systems and rooms slowly opening to the void, peeling away cycle after cycle to reveal the bones beneath. This is where Jean-Mai mentioned that you might be able to find the location of a ship with a prime ship mind among the old shipping manifests and Solheim records. You look over the towering structure of the gate, but this is going to take some work. Suddenly a flash high up on the gate catches your eye, a light turning on and off again for a moment. You lose track of it.
Is this place inhabited?
Seraphim raises an eyebrow.
I doubt it.
He winks and smiles.
You hoping for a station-side bar? I have a feeling that you'll be disappointed, unless we find an executive's old liquor cabinet.
Bliss pats you on the shoulder and drifts out of the cockpit. Time to see what secrets the gate has left.
Okay, now, I've only got 3 days worth of supplies, but that doesn't seem to be a problem at the moment. And there is a checkpoint hole over here. Where we can pretend... Oh, the two things that I don't have. Okay, well, maybe we can find... Is there anything else? Nope. Okay, so maybe we can find something in here that I'm good at. Okay, power up the archive. That's okay. I've got good engineering skills. But the only problem is that this is going to put a lot of stress on me. So let's take a look and see what 100% positive skill check gets us. Hopefully 3? Yeah, 3. Cool. What we'll do then is we'll use all 3 of our 6s to really power through this opening section here. And then we'll take a risk with this one. If we get another 25% super positive one... Ooh, negative outcome. We lost 2 energy from that. Yeesh. Right, okay. Let's leave that be. And I think we'll probably have to call that on the first cycle because, like I said, not good skills that I've got here. So we shall chill here. Because my plan is to not stress out and break any more of my dice because that is a bad time. So first off, we're going to make a meal. And hopefully that will just refuel us. That's what we need. And we will go back down and take a look. We'll boost this to a 5. Hopefully we'll just, that was okay. I don't really want to waste a 6 on this, so I'll just hopefully just get a neutral outcome. Perfect. Right. That was a positive outcome.
In the dark and airless void of the archives, something flickers. You've been working in the dark, picking through the guts of corroded machines, skimming the data in their corrupt memories. Digging through the graveyard in search of ghosts. But now, with another flicker, the place begins to come back to life. All along the rows of benches, some of them crushed by falling ceiling panels, terminals begin to flicker into uneasy life, a cacophony of distorted sounds accompanied by machines, as some of them immediately glitch and spark. Did you do this? You stand frozen as the archive glitters around you with a million shipping entries. The stream of information is overwhelming, node graphs drawing out routes and inventories, tracing a web around you in pale cyan. Suddenly, they will shut off. The terminals blinking out together, leaving a single translucent screen glowing softly in the dim room. And in that dim room, drifting towards you out of the dark, you see a figure.
Is this what you're looking for? The voice crackles aggressively through your suit's local comms. Who are you? Ah, it's Junie again. Sleeper, is that you?
You hear Junie's voice now, tense and unsure. She stops beside the single online terminal, her suit form lit in the pale light.
Junie!
You hear a smile in her voice.
Good to see you again.
She pauses and glances around, though
The venue is a little unexpected. I'm looking for a ship mind.
she shrugs.
Well, yes, I can see that. I've been digging through the archives myself, although slightly less forcefully than you. I did have this whole speech prepared for whatever salvager was ripping through these archives so messily, not to mention aggressively, but now that I know it was you, well, I'm just glad to see you. Although you really need to be more careful. You could have taken the entire archive down the way that you were working with it. These machines are decades old. You can't just rifle through them like they were a scrap pile. I saw them pattern of your queries, a prime ship-mined equipped ship, still operational at the collapse, last located in the region around Hellion Gate.
You can now feel how pleased she is with herself from here.
That about right? Nicely done.
She nods.
Would you have expected anything else? That's why I did the hard work for you.
Junie beckons you over to a lone lit-up terminal. You drift over and see a single point, a faded transit trail beside it, sunward from the Hellion Gate.
Something like this, maybe?
She smiles and you step aside so she can see the screen. You check the info pane beside the map. Ship mined in use, abandoned by all hands after the collapse. Tantalizingly in reach.
Yeah, something like that.
She shrugs.
Well then, it's yours. But
Junie turns and in the glow of the terminal meets your eye with complete seriousness.
the question is, what do you want it for? I'll explain about the body.
You tell her what John Mai told you about your shifting body transformed by some unknown influence, about the need for a prime ship mind to house your emulated mind while she runs a diagnostic process. She is silent for a moment, unsure how to respond.
I'm sorry, Sleeper, but I think I can help you. I want to come with you.
Junie gives you a strong look.
Do you know how often someone gets out to one of those old Solheim wrecks? They're more trouble than they're worth, but contained inside, there's an entire history to uncover. I need that ship mind, and you're welcome to it, she says. I promise to help you get what you need and not to get in your way. I know I can't force you or trick you into taking me, that's why I wanted to offer you this instead.
She indicates the terminal, still showing the ship's final resting place.
I hope that maybe if I helped you find what you needed, it would show I can be trusted. Oh, I trust Junie, that you're fine.
She smiles.
Thank you for saying so. I'll send the coordinates to your ship and I'll be hanging around the gate until you're ready to leave. She shifts
In front of the terminal and plugs in her deck, tapping away at rapid speed.
If you need to get supplies from the spindle or anything else, fine.
She folds her arms.
I'll wait. But if you want to go on this job without me, I'll get the message.
She shrugs.
You won't see me again.
With that, you leave her in the archive, extracting data as you ascend back to Hellion Gate's upper levels.
Well, well, well. It was good to see Junie again. That's fantastic. So, the question is, do we bother trying to find out what's within the gate here with the rest of our dice? I mean, it could stress us out. It all depends on how much you get, really, for a successful attempt. That's a lot of energy, and that was a 6 as well, so I don't know about this. Oh, we did discover a new location. Where, though? Where? Oh, this. Oh, we can scavenge fuel, which... Oh, God, looking at the fuel thing there. Very useful to find that, because I didn't realise that we were so low on fuel. Okay. Question is, though, where's Junie gone? Is there no option to just say we're going now, or do we just have to say that we're going? Right, what I'll do is I'll end the cycle here. I'll have a look around. Ooh, losing a bit of energy, so we better eat. Right, cool. We're on full energy. We could get some more fuel. Yeah, let's go get some more fuel with a semi-bad dice, because it'll be boosted to a 4 at least. Might take some energy, which is fine. But we've got another 2 fuel. I feel like it's probably the best place that my 2 dice to a 3 dice is going to get the most. Ooh, that's bad. Okay, let's leave that be then. Over here, we've got 4 things to go through, and this is going to get all the way down to a 50%. I just don't think it's worth it. Only problem is, I can't see where else Junie would be. So I'm going to grab this fuel, hope that we can take her with us. In fact, actually, I might as well just grab that last bit of fuel here. And now we've got to find where this prime ship mind is. So, oh, it's in the local area. It takes 4 fuel to get there. Oh, gosh. Oh, boy. Oh, jeez. But on the plus side, oh, man, we have not got many supplies left. Oof. This is worrying. Because if we run out of supplies, there ain't going to be nothing when we're out there. Right. Unfortunately, what we're going to need to do is actually fly out of this belt, back to the spindle, and then back there once we're all, like, equipped up, and just go from there. It's not ideal, but it's what we got to do. That's what I need. Can sell the raw scrap and get some amazing scrap, which is fantastic, but I don't know what the processed scrap does. Let's go and find the exchange, which I believe was up the top. Okay, right, so we need to fill the supplies for sure. And we need to fill up our fuel. Right. That's as good as we're going to get it, because I just don't know where else I would sell my... I just don't know where I'm going to sell my processed scrap. It just doesn't look like I've got any options to do. All I've got is the option to work and to make scrap. Fine. Okay, right. Well, we're going to go back to where we were here and then zoom straight onto the next bit. And then, believe it or not, gang, I might have to leave it there because of the fact that it's coming up to the close of the stream time. So what we'll do is we'll fly over there. We'll take her because of the fact that she has interface and Intuit, I believe, those ones there. And because I'm as good has Eugen on stuff. Take Bliss, because then at least that way we've got a really good balance there. We'll just take it as it comes. Okay. Oh, that's an amazing roll. Look at that. Jeepers creepers. Tell me about those peepers, man. I was hoping that I could just save it there. Right, okay. Last bit of narration, and then we'll stop as soon as we've finished with this bit. We're too far sunward, Sleeper.
Seraphim turns back in his chair and looks at you.
I don't like it.
It's hard not to agree. The coordinates Junie found have drawn you out of Hellion Gate and almost out of the belt completely into the soft rubble-strewn transition with the Hellion system to the edge of convoy-controlled space.
That's why this ship is likely to be untouched.
Junie surveys the wreck coldly.
It's too far sunward for belt traffic to run into, and now, with convoy drones patrolling the edge of the belt, it's even less attractive to this as a salvage site. Lucky us.
Junie eyes you, trying to detect if you're being sarcastic or not.
I doubt anyone's been here in decades, so actually I would say we are lucky. Any drone signals? Nothing I can see, but I don't dare reach out too far.
Seraphim flicks a few switches.
We should assume they're out there.
As you look out at the twisted wreck, you swear you see a red light blinking between the stars. You exchange a look with Seraphim. He's seen it too.
We better get to it, Sleeper. Seraphim begins unclipping from his seat, quickly and quietly. From what I understand, convoy drones run off an automatic until they detect something of interest.
Junie unclips too.
So as long as we're quiet, we don't have to contend with an operator, just automated search sweeps. So if we are detected, we'll be killed by a machine, not a person.
Bliss shakes their head.
I don't find that very reassuring.
They get up out of the corner seat and glide towards the back of the ship to get suited up. You drift out of your chair and head towards the airlock, unable to shake the feeling of being watched. Being here is a risk. You know that, but you need this ship mind. So, no matter what happens, you won't be leaving here empty-handed. Right.
Thing is there a way? Oh yeah, last autosave 2 seconds ago. Cool. So that means that they're going to load me in for the next time when we do this contract and move things forward with 4 6s. That is delicious. Kind of makes up for the pretty piss-poor rolls that my friends have gotten over here. But on the plus side, it does mean that if we go into here, we should be all covered from everything. Like, here we go. So interface, Junie's got a plus on that one there. Oh no, it's literally the only person who's got the skills that are needed. That is so rubbish. I'm actually like push my skills here so that then I can get them both up to decent skills. But my god, that's annoying that I get the best roll of my life and then it's nothing to do with none of the skills that I need. Oh well, right, friends, I'm gonna have to go right now, but thank you very much for joining me in on this stream. It's been absolutely brilliant, and I hope that you enjoyed the silly little addition of having in the voices there. So, obviously there is
nothing else left for me to do other than say
Thank you very much for joining me here into this stream.
I hope that you enjoyed everything that you've seen and heard, and
that you return next week for what will be hopefully another fantastic
foray with the Citizen Sleeper 2.
Until then, take it easy, my friends. I'll catch you in a bit. Have a great rest of your week. Bye, everyone. Bye, 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 bye.